Milan just wrapped Men's Fashion Week, and I need you to understand something. This wasn't fashion, this was a full-blown circus, and not the cute kind. We're talking rappers stumbling down runways in ski gear that cost more than your car, actors debuting in literal hockey uniforms, and luxury brands charging thousands of dollars for clothes that look like they were pulled from a dumpster. Oh, and Dolce and Gabbana, they decided 2026 was the perfect year to pretend diversity doesn't exist. Buckle up because this is about to get messy. So for those of you who don't live and breathe fashion drama, Men's Fashion Week just wrapped in Milan, and honestly, it was giving unhinged. Every January, the biggest luxury brands in the world descend on Milan and Paris to show off their fall/winter menswear collections. We're talking Prada, Dolce and Gabbana, Squared 2, the heavy hitters. These shows are supposed to set the tone for what men will be wearing in 6 months, but this year, the only thing they set was a new standard for absolute chaos. And look, I get it. Fashion is supposed to be avant-garde. It's supposed to push boundaries. But there's a difference between pushing boundaries and completely losing the plot. And honey, Milan lost the plot, burned the script, and then tried to sell us the ashes for $3,000. Let me break down the 4 biggest disasters that have the internet absolutely screaming right now. And trust me, if you think what I've told you so far is bad, wait until you hear what Prada tried to pull. First up, we need to talk about D2's 30th anniversary show. The theme, Ski Resort meets Fetish Club. Yes, you heard that right. Ski Resort meets Fetish Club. Who signed off on this? Who looked at those 2 concepts and said, yeah, let's mash them together and send a rapper down the runway? Enter NLE Choppa. Now, I have nothing against NLE Choppa. He's a talented guy. But putting him in what critics are calling an ultra-sexy trapper look was a choice. Picture this. Low-rise jeans that are barely hanging on for dear life, massive fur accessories that look like he mugged a Yeti, and a crop top in Milan in January, when it's literally 20 degrees Fahrenheit outside. The outfit was described as a sensual, provocative mashup of rugged ski gear and revealing elements. Translation? It made absolutely no sense. You're supposed to wear ski gear to stay warm, not to show off your abs while hypothermia sets in. But wait, it gets worse. The footwear. Oh my God, the footwear. D2 decided to take snowboarder boots and turn them into high heels. They also featured moon boots, you know, those puffy snow boots that look like marshmallows, but made them so ridiculous that models could barely walk. NLE Choppa is out here trying to strut in what are essentially ski boots on stilts, and honestly, I've never seen a man look more uncomfortable in my entire life. The internet had an absolute field day with this. One tweet said, "Why is he dressed for Aspen and a nightclub at the same time?" Another said, "This man is dressed for 2 different climates and both of them are wrong." And honestly, they're not lying. But here's the thing that's really making people mad. This isn't just silly, it's tone deaf. You're creating clothes that are completely unwearable, impractical, and honestly kind of degrading for the models, and then you're going to charge people tens of thousands of dollars for it? Make it make sense. And if you think that's the wildest thing that happened at D2, stay with me, because an actual Hollywood actor just made his runway debut, and it was equally unhinged. Okay, so at this same D2 disaster of a show, we got a surprise appearance from Hudson Williams. If you don't know who that is, he's the star of Heated Rivalry, the show everyone's been binge-watching. This was his official runway debut, and the internet went feral. Now, Hudson himself? He looked fine. Great, even. The man is gorgeous, and he can walk. But his outfit? Girl. He was dressed in a Canadian ice hockey-inspired look, which is just a fancy way of saying he looked like he was about to hit the ice for the Stanley Cup, not walk a runway in Milan. Picture a hockey jersey, but make it fashion. Leather details, oversized proportions, the whole deal. Fans were living for it. His name was trending worldwide within minutes. But here's the issue. The collection itself was a mess. We're talking hoodie bodysuits. Yes, that's a thing now. Leather overpants, which, why? And fit so extravagant and ridiculous that critics called them unwearable and crazy. One fashion critic said, and I quote, "It's giving Halloween costume, not couture." And honestly, I can't argue with that. This is what happens when designers get so obsessed with being different that they forget their clothes are supposed to be, worn. But the real kicker? People are defending this madness. They're saying, It's art. It's supposed to be extreme. Okay, fine. But if your art requires a man to dress like a rejected mascot from the NHL, maybe it's time to go back to the drawing board. And just when you think it can't get any more absurd, Prada entered the chat, and what they did is somehow even worse. The laziness fail, Prada's purposefully unkept look, Prada, one of the most iconic, prestigious fashion houses in the entire world. You know what they decided to do for men's fall/winter 2026? They sent models down the runway looking like they just rolled out of bed after a 3-day bender. Critics are calling this collection purposefully unkept. Miuccia Prada and Raf Simons, two of the biggest names in fashion, decided that the vibe for 2026 is messy. And not like cute messy. We're talking belts tied so loosely they look like they're about to fall off. Sleeves billowing crudely from coats, and fabrics that are deliberately distressed to look old and worn. Here's a direct quote from a fashion review. It's a study in what comes next by looking like you just rolled out of bed. I'm sorry, what? You're telling me Prada's big innovation is making clothes that look like they came from a thrift store and then charging luxury prices for them? They're out here selling outdated floral tops and slouchy berets that look like they raided someone's childhood wardrobe. Rain hats at a luxury fashion show. And the kicker? These items are going to cost you thousands of dollars. You could literally go to Goodwill, buy a wrinkled shirt and a floppy hat for $5 and achieve the same look. But no, Prada wants you to pay a month's rent for theirs. The internet is not having it. People are saying this is peak laziness. One tweet said, Prada really said, what if we just didn't try? Another said, I can look homeless for free, thanks. And look, I get that fashion is subjective. I get that avant-garde doesn't always make sense to the average person. But when you're charging people luxury prices for clothes that look like they were fished out of a hamper, you've officially crossed the line from artistic to scam. But if you think that's the most offensive thing that happened at Men's Fashion Week, oh honey, you're not ready for what Dolce & Gabbana just did. Okay, deep breath. We need to talk about Dolce & Gabbana's The Portrait of Man show. This show featured 100 looks. 100 looks. And out of those 100 looks, guess how many were modeled by people of color? Almost none. The internet is calling it 50 Shades of White. And honestly, that's being generous. In 2026, Dolce & Gabbana decided that diversity just wasn't important. This is the same year where every other major brand is making strides to be more inclusive, more representative, more aware. And D&G said, nah, we're good. The backlash has been swift and brutal. People are dragging this brand through the mud, and rightfully so. One Twitter user said, how do you cast 100 models and not think, maybe we should have more than 3 Black people? Another said, Dolce & Gabbana said diversity is a trend, and they're not following it. And here's the thing. This isn't just bad optics. It's insulting. It's a slap in the face to every designer, every model, every person of color who has fought to be seen in this industry. Fashion is supposed to reflect the world we live in. And the world we live in is diverse, vibrant, and full of people who don't all look the same. Dolce & Gabbana has a history of controversy, from racist ad campaigns to offensive comments. But this feels like a new low, because it's not even about trying and failing. It's about not trying at all. The brand has been silent on the backlash so far, which is somehow making it worse. No apology, no statement, nothing. Just radio silence while the internet roasts them alive. So there you have it, Men's Fashion Week 2026, a masterclass in chaos, laziness, and tone deafness. From NLE Choppa's ski fetish nightmare, to Prada's homeless chic scam, to Dolce & Gabbana's diversity disaster, this event was a mess from start to finish. But I want to know what you think. Are these brands pushing boundaries, or have they completely lost touch? Is this art, or is it just absurd? Drop a comment and let me know whose side you're on. And if you made it this far, you're a real one. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next fashion disaster. Until next time, stay messy, but not Prada messy.